You cool.
I'm going to get myself a meditation blanket very soon. Let the winter kick in.
So, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. So, where are we? We are now entering in its real essence. And there are changes that are afoot now which will accumulate as we move into winter, which is what we've been telling you over the last 6 months, that look, as we approach winter, things are likely to get a little bit more turbulent, a little bit more of a turmoil, and it would be in our interest to prepare for the changes that are afoot. And some of these changes, like, again, what we anticipated with the fuel crisis and the food stuff, that all of these rapid shifts are simply to, like, one disaster after another, after another, after another, to exhaust the space humanity is in. Notice that. Just notice it. It's one after another, and you don't recover from the first, then the next one's hit on you, and the one after that. So soon it'll all be to do with banking systems, communication systems, electrical systems, all about simply creating this constant pressure on humanity. And humanity, things are now getting a bit serious. It's now a bit serious. It's no longer a question of it'll get better. It's no longer that question. It's now, where are you and how do you participate in what the changes are that are afoot right now? Yeah? What is your role in it? What responsibilities do we have, if any? Maybe we don't have any. Maybe we just sit back, have some pop, and let the whole world burn. I mean, maybe that's the way forward. But maybe there's a role that we as human beings are being brought to. And this is really where I think meditation and wisdom become a little bit more integrated. Meditation in itself is not enough. Need a context behind it, because we begin to learn reality is not, this ain't Kansas. Reality is not what you think it is. And as you find now, every belief system, every single belief system, you have been betrayed. Every single one. Can't trust your schools, can you now, with your kids? Can you trust your bank with your money? No. Can you trust the medical system? No. Can you trust your government that has repeatedly been accused of pedophilia? Can you trust them? Can you trust the propaganda channels? So what's left? So this loss of trust is only going to grow, increase. And therefore, meditation now becomes a way of cultivating trust. Not trust in another, because this is where we fall down, where the trust is in another, whether it's systems, whether it's belief systems of any kind. But the fact that you trust the bullshit you tell yourself, you actually think you know. And that's for all of us, that we never question our thinking. We never question our thinking. And because we don't question our thinking, we believe what we tell ourselves. And we tell ourselves what we are told to tell ourselves. That's where the psychology is breaking. So you may not see it, but you're all feeling it now. You're all feeling things are squeezing a bit. Things are getting a bit tighter. Will you be able to get to your appointment tomorrow? Will you be able to go to work? Will you have enough petrol? Will there be enough bread? And as a result, this has an impact on our health, our mental health, emotional health, physical health, And now the emergence of your spiritual health, because you can't rely on anyone anymore. None of us can. You have to find your truth. And this is no longer about belief. This is no longer about having a religion. This is no longer about going to church or a temple or a gurdwara. It had nothing to do with that. It's to do with you. Because we all are being brought to this point in which we have to face our mortality, in which we have to see what life's about, in which we have to consider that all that we took for granted has been taken away. In fact, not taken away, you gave it away. Not for a while. So you have to now fight for it. The same rights to meet one another, have to fight for it. To be able to attend venues, you have to fight for it. Students, for those people who remember World War II atrocities, will remember that the Jews had to be identified with a band. Well, at universities, they are now introducing this. If you don't learn from your mistakes, history will repeat itself. And we look back and say, so many million people died. How could anyone let this happen? Well, we're all doing it now. And most of the people who were killed with the needle. Mengele. Go and do your research. And we will discover that things are serious. This isn't a joke anymore. It was what you were preparing for last 12 months. Now it's a question of saying, hold on a second. Actually, do I want to live like this for the rest of it? Because if you don't stand for your truth, no one else will. And that's all we got to do. Exercise awareness first. Become aware of what's going on, not the stuff you believe. See what's going on. No one gives you everything for free. When you go out and you want to completely create something in every human being that cannot be reversed, you have to ask yourself the question, why? And if you don't do that, then we get what we get. So this is where we're at now. We're at this crossroad in which we have to stand and make our decisions and decide, is freedom important? Or is this draconian way of being important? And the atrocities that come with it. And that's where humanity is being brought to. This is where we become humanity 2.0. When we begin to realize that ain't the way to live. We begin to recognize we don't need to live in those ways. There are other ways of living. And this is just a process that is bringing us to that awareness. From awareness, we have commitment, we have a discipline, we have a practice. Look after yourself. Health system goes, you're gone. Who do you go to? Who do you go to for your antiseptic? How do you look after yourself? What foods are good for you if you've got a cold? We are going towards simplicity with a little bit of humility. You aren't in control, never have been in control. Life takes care of itself. We just got lost in the story. And it's bringing us back into recognizing life takes care of itself. And through our practice, we begin to cultivate and see the trust that emerges by moving into that space of silence, of stillness, from present moment to presence. From present moment to presence. And that presence is your essential self. That presence is never going to change. That presence is your ground. That presence is what allows you to put your roots in when things start becoming a little bit higgledy-piggledy as we move into the next few months. We need to root ourselves, ground ourselves. That presence is your grounding. That's where we ground ourselves. That presence has its own sacredness. That presence is all that is needed. There is no prayer, there is no savior. That presence is who you and I are. And by going into that space, witnessing it for yourself, realizing it, experiencing it, you become more and more embedded in it. And as the storm that begins now to gather, this is the rest period. And you will see in the next few months, things are going to get a little bit more erratic. And therefore, it's important to build that space of being grounded, good mental health, encourages good emotional health, and so on and so forth. We all have a choice. We all have to ability. Those that have lied to you so far and continue to lie to you. So, anyway, get you into meditation? Yeah, I think so. Enough black. All right, so where are the bells push? Oh, got it. Okay, so again, something yourself, you can't necessarily call it to be the truth. So in our meditation, the search is always for the authentic experience, for our truth, for the truth of this moment. How are we? Where are we? What's going on? So begin with closing your eyes, closing your mouth as usual, unless you can't breathe in through your nose, in which case you breathe in through your mouth. Straighten your back, pull your shoulders back a little bit, all quite deliberate, so your chest feels a bit open. Notice that your shoulders are not hunched but relaxed. And as you breathe in, become aware of yourself. So your posture, aware of your inner space. So the kind of thoughts you're having, or the general feel of yourself. Coming back to your posture, your sense of self, to your body. If we just top of our head, moving down to the forehead, moving down across our face, and just scan ourselves as we go down the front of our body. Scan the back. And then just scan the legs from your thighs, moving down gently to your feet. As you take your next breath in, once again, become aware of your whole body again. And see if there's anything dominant in the body, like a pain, an ache, an itch, a tightness. Have a good look. Okay? Now bring your focus to the chair that you're on or the floor, wherever you're sitting. Begin to notice that you're grounded. Wherever you are, you're actually grounded in that place. You're embedded in this moment and in this space. In other words, you can't be anywhere else. You can only be where you are. The ground beneath you holds you. There's no other ground that can hold you at this moment. The temperature that you feel around you, cannot be felt anywhere else. The breaths that you take in now can only be taken with the air that's in front of you. And this moment, with this breath, remains the next moment and the next one. So this moment, this place right now connects you to all the moments that ever have been, and will connect you to all the moments that ever will be. So you're embedded in this reality. Bring your focus to the chair or the floor you're sitting on. Notice the sensations in your body. As you draw a new breath in, bring your focus up towards your hips. As you breathe out, bring your focus to your thighs, scanning them for any sensations, becoming familiar with yourself. From your knees, you move down to your ankles. From your ankles, you move down to your feet. And then finally sensing the soles of your feet. Coming back to your seat, notice how still your body feels. As you breathe in, bring your focus up your back, scanning the lower back, middle back. Notice any, and then gently bringing this focus up towards your shoulder blades and your shoulders. And we're simply scanning our physical body, noting any sensations that are present in our body at this moment. From our shoulders, we move down to our elbows. From our elbows, we move down to our wrists. And now notice the palms of your hands. Becoming aware of your fingers. Move your focus now to the back of your neck. And as you pull your chin in, you'll notice the back of the neck stretches. Bringing your focus to your eyes. Notice the darkness. Becoming aware that you are present to the darkness that's in front of you. You have awareness of it. See if you can realize the awareness. The observation or the observer of the darkness. As you breathe out, relax your eyes. Moving your focus now to your mouth. Notice the tongue. Scanning it from the back to the tip. Allowing it to soften. Noticing the sensations on the roof of your mouth. And then as you breathe out, relaxing your face. As the breath comes in, once again become aware of yourself as best as you can. Bring your focus now towards your thoughts. Are there any thoughts there? How does the mind feel? Stressed? Overactive? Lethargic? Alert? Bring your focus to your chest. Begin to observe the movement of your chest with the breath. And the longer you hold your focus there, you begin to recognize how you feel in this moment. Is this moment pleasant, comfortable, calm, tranquil? Sukh? Is this moment suffering, fearful, angry, irritable, unpleasant? How does this moment feel for you, for yourself? Awareness of our feeling. On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds that are around you. We allow the sound and the noise to come to you. Listening. It's just beneath your nose. And begin to watch your breath. Holding your focus with a little bit of effort and commitment. And breath. Stay with your breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Allowing it to flow for as long as it wants, out or in. If you find your focus has been distracted by a thought or a noise, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Notice how the breath breathes by itself. The in-breath followed by the out-breath followed by the in-breath. Does your in-breath feel the same as your out-breath? Begin to notice your breath. Notice that the in-breath has a start, a middle, and an end. The out-breath has a start, a middle, and an end. In-breath has a start, middle, end. Out-breath has a start, middle, end. If you follow your out-breath all the way till the end, notice there's a tiny little gap before the in-breath begins. See if you can notice this gap. And with every breath out, becoming more and more present to this moment. Moving from the storytelling to becoming present. How long does that gap last? That gap at the end of your out-breath before the in-breath. That gap at the end of your out-breath before the in-breath begins. Yet relaxed. Notice how you're breathing now. Notice how the breath feels. Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Stay in this moment. And as you watch your breath, presence emerges, being present to your breath. Does your breath feel light or does it feel heavy? Locked like a laser. Present to your breath, present to the movement of your breath, present to the qualities of your breath. Does your breath feel smooth or does it feel erratic? Does your breath feel cool or does it feel warm? Stay with your breath. Now bringing your focus to the sound of your breath. Listening to the in-breath as it comes in, listening to the out-breath as it goes out. Listening to the in-breath as it comes in, trying to listen to the out-breath as it goes out, as best as you can. You get deeper and deeper into this moment. Emerging presence. This emerging presence that is always present, unchanging, on your next breath out, once again begin to listen to the sounds around you. And by following the sound of the bell, see if you can notice the silence at the end. once again. Notice the nature of your experience. Notice the timelessness of this moment. Notice the sense of peace, tranquility. Notice the absence of anxiety or fear or hate, anger, irritation. Your presence is unchanging, while all around you is changing. This silence, this stillness, this peace is something you've created for yourself. And this peace in this moment is your trust. Very gently bring your focus just beneath your nose and just sit with your breath. Next breath out. Expand your awareness, include your whole body. Once again, just noticing what's going on with the body. Anything dominant, any major sensation. Locate. Those sensations where your body makes contact with your chair or your seat. You can sense your thighs moving down to your ankles and your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. Coming back to your chair or your seat, notice how still the body feels. The back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are still relaxed and comfortable. Your eyes are closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. And now as you breathe in, you can sense your body, and as you breathe out, you can sense your body. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Give thanks for this moment you have taken to look after yourself. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to come back to your breath, drawing a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, opening your eyes.